Emily, what's really beginning to shape up here is Everett Dirksen, not billions, but trillions and trillions of dollars of new spending. We saw the Democrats ram through the stimulus legislation. Can they do the same thing with infrastructure?
That's what they're probably going to be trying to do. With this larger infrastructure package, we expect President Biden to start laying out exactly what he'd like to see in it this week. Wednesday, he'll be in Pittsburgh making a key speech. He's going to focus most of that speech on infrastructure, and that's sort of the part of this bill that could potentially be bipartisan. Remember, the idea is to break it up into chunks, perhaps do one bipartisan chunk with roads, highways, broadband, things Democrats and Republicans agree on. And then next month, we expect the president to go a little bit more into other aspects of the plan, including climate change, health care, child care. And that might be in a different package that Democrats have to use that budget reconciliation process to pass by themselves.
Is anybody going to pay for this?
That's the huge question right now in D.C. I mean, that's what we're looking at the Biden's tax plan for, that could potentially provide some revenue to cover part, perhaps not all, but part of this spending package. And then, of course, there's a question, how much debt do we want to take on? That's been a huge argument from Republicans as to why they did not back the last spending package. And it could come up again as to why they might not pass this next spending package.
Emily, forgive me for asking for some more details on the timeline and to offer up the timeline question, but what is the timeline?
So I think we can kind of think of Wednesday a little bit as the starting gun. We've been preparing, we've been stretching, discussions and negotiations have been ongoing, but Wednesday is actually when President Biden is going to pivot the messaging from the previous COVID package to this larger infrastructure package that could be as much as $3 trillion. From there, we're going to see Congress get underway with hearings, markups, trying to sort of work exactly what can and cannot be in this package, making sure that they have unified Democratic support, which is absolutely huge here because they can't pass anything if they don't get at least 50 Democrats on board. I think we're expecting to see negotiations go throughout the spring, throughout the summer, and then around September, I think, is the timeline that we're looking at to make sure that something gets done, because there are a couple critical deadlines in that month that lawmakers need to meet.